I'm Janet Maddalena. I own Maddalena's Cheesecake and Catering Company. Maddalena's started making cheesecake 35 years ago, almost 36 years ago. We sell our cheesecake in many stores in New Jersey and in Pennsylvania. The best way for us to sell cheesecake in any store or any location is for the customer to get a taste of it. The reason that you're watching this video is because we've either hired you to be a cheesecake sampler or you're interested in becoming a cheesecake sampler. Why do we need cheesecake samplers? Well, we have many stores selling our cheesecake, and in order for us to promote sales, in order for us to work with the many different communities, we need to make people aware of why Maddalena's is such a wonderful, delicious, high-quality cheesecake. The best way for us to do that is for us to get a taste of our cheesecake into each and every customer that we can. Upon arrival at the store, you will follow the directions on your paperwork, which will guide you either to the bakery or to the frozen department. If you're sampling in the bakery, go directly to the bakery, introduce yourself to the bakery manager, and immediately ask for the bakery manager to sign you in. So I want to see what time you've arrived and the signature of the person in charge. If you're working in the frozen department of one of the Saker stores, you need to go directly to the courtesy desk and ask for the frozen manager, who will meet you and guide you back to where you'll need to set up. You'll need to ask the frozen manager to sign you in, again with we need his signature and the time that you've arrived to start your demo. Once you are in place, you're going to need to set your equipment up. We've given you a table, a cover, a tablecloth, and a bin with all of the necessary supplies. First thing you're going to want to do is put your tablecloth on the table, and then find your bin, which Nina has very carefully packed with everything that you need. So you're going to have an apron, you're going to have your spoons, gloves, which you're going to need to put on, you're going to have some extra plastic bags, business cards. And now this is empty. It's got a plastic bag in it, and it can be used as your garbage bag or your garbage can. You set that down. Missed a few things. I got a pen and hand sanitizer in here. So you're going to want to keep the hand sanitizer there for yourself and also for your customers to use. We have a pen so that you can have your customers sign our email list, which we want to encourage as many emails as we possibly can. Got other paperwork on your clipboard. One of them is we need more samplers, so that's with you. If you can find a place to put that out and make that information known, that's always a good thing. Well, Nina is going to have a demo checklist so that when you get there, you're going to be able to go through this checklist and make sure that you have what you need and you know what it is you're supposed to do. In your box, you have a cheesecake box, and if you have a store that sells our gluten-free cheesecake, you'll have a gluten-free box as well as our original. So you're going to want to find a place to set it on your table, and you have some trays. So we're going to set up our table, make it look pretty. And so our table is set up. We have our packaging out. We have our napkins. We have our email list. We've even got our wanted cheesecake brand ambassadors here, just in case somebody wants a job with Maddalena's. You can let them take one of our slips. Better yet, have them write their name and phone number on, and the fact that they're interested in being a cheesecake sampler, because we would love to be able to get a hold of them on Monday. Okay, so as far as spatially here, we want, if at all possible, put a little plants, put something pretty for color. If it's Valentine's Day, get some hearts. If it's, St. Patty's Day, some green, whatever, Christmas time. Make it pretty, make it your own. We're going to have little spoons on here, and we're going to use them for sampling, but we do not want to put them out front where the customers can grab them, because we don't want the customers' fingers in it. Also, they have a tendency to think this is their garbage, and they will put, if you're not watching, sometimes they want to throw the spoon away. It's not a good idea. Anyway, if you have signage, put the sign on top of your phone box, because it's a good place. It gives it some height, and it's out of your way. But when you need to open up your box, just do this. Lift it and lay it down here. Now your sign is still there. The box isn't toppling over. Now you've got your samples. We've done samples in little half pints. This is what we've done. This is cheesecake. We've got 4 different flavors, and what we're going to do is we're going to spoon it right onto the tray so that the customer can help themselves. So what you want to do is you want to open it up. I think probably, well, let's see. How long does it take us to really get done with one of the flavors? So right now the cheesecake is on the firm side, as we just started. It'll probably start to soften up for you, but again, I think maybe keeping that closed. We've got ice packs on it. We have an ice pack under it, and there was an ice pack on top of it. So when we got here, we opened this up, and there was an ice pack and an ice pack, okay? So what we did was we took that other ice pack and we put it on top of this bottom tray. Then we put our little cloth on top, keep it from slipping and sliding, and make it look a little bit nicer. And now we've got a nice cold base for our samples. So we're done with this flavor. We want to put it back. It could even be, if it was a slow day for you, you could, almost spoon things out to the customer. But I think it's best to do one flavor at a time, do a row, put it away, bring it back out, because we don't want all the samples to warm up and be too melty. Some people don't like it frozen, but they don't mind it if it's cold. If it gets to be too room temperature, then it's not appealing. So you want to make sure that you're not putting out so much that it's getting warm. Sometimes if you're having a really quiet day and you see that it's getting warm and it just looks like it's changing consistency, get rid of it, start over. And if that happens, don't make quite as many samples, because you don't want to have the same thing happen all over again. So basically right now we've got 3 flavors on our tray. It looks pretty. People can come along, they could just pick up the spoon, help themselves, and then we want them to toss their spoon in your trash can, or if it turns out that your store has a recycling can, you can certainly bring it next to your table, or guide them to toss it away. I mean, if they're plastic, they're recyclable, could be done. Anyway, here we have it. We have our Black Forest in the first row, our chocolate chip in the second row, and we have strawberry in the third row. Looks nice and colorful, tastes delicious. People are gonna love it. It's easy peasy. Okay, so during your demo, it's really important that you make eye contact with the customers, that you smile, that you're upbeat, that you're having fun. It's really a nice opportunity to be out and meet people and let them try something that is amazingly delicious. Maddalena's cheesecake is made with the finest ingredients. We use 100% real dairy. We use pure bourbon vanilla from Madagascar. And there are no preservatives in Maddalena's cheesecake. So it's important that people understand what it is all about. Yes, it's pricey, but there's a reason. It's not an arbitrary number. Then it is, you get what you pay for. So when someone says to you it's expensive, it's important for you to let them taste it, because tasting is really what they need more than anything to understand the reason for the dollar amount that is attached to it. When you're out in the store, you want to talk about the company a little bit. We're a local family business. We've been here for 35 years. It'll be 36 years, April 7th, 2018. So by the time you see this, it'll most likely be just about 36 years that we've been here. The cakes are made locally, practically in their neighborhoods, so people like to buy local, they like small businesses. We're perfect for that. So we want them to understand that. We can make, the cake is available in many of their local supermarkets, so they can find it in their neighborhood. They can also come to Maddalena's. It's important, we're in that store, so obviously our job that day is to encourage them to come back to the store that they are in, to come back and buy it again. Let's see, what's my next? I want it, when you're in the store, if it's quiet, if it's not a super busy day and people aren't coming to you, make a tray and walk. I always like to leave product on the table and then make a second tray and walk. For instance, in most cases you can see the deli from the bakery. People are waiting in line at the deli, I walk over to the deli. Ask them if they like to try a sample, and people love that because they're standing there, they're waiting, they have nothing to do. It's a great opportunity to talk to them. Explain where the cake is, explain what it's all about, is whenever you can. I guess it's important that you learn to read people. If someone is too busy, then obviously you don't want to detain them. But if you get the sense that somebody's interested, then have a conversation. People love it. I always feel that whenever I've had a meaningful conversation with somebody, they're going to remember me and they're going to remember my cake. And that's why we've asked you to do this, to represent us, so that you can have those meaningful conversations with our customers. Make friends. It will come back tenfold for all of us. What else can I tell you guys? In some stores, it's important that we have a hat available. So bring a hat. Some of the Suma stores will ask you to wear a hat. In most cases, they're just happy as long as the hair is pulled back, but it's a good idea to have a little baseball cap with you, so just in case. We don't want them to have a problem. When people are talking to you, or when you're talking to people, let them know, give them a card, tell them to check out our website, and especially get their email address. I try to send out a weekly email every single week, talking about new flavors and what's going on at Maddalena's. So we love for people to find us on the website and look into all the different things that we're up to. We also would love them to like us on Facebook, find us on Instagram, and all that kind of stuff. All that social media is very helpful, and we find that we get many, of our customers find us through Facebook, they find us through Instagram. If people love our cheesecake, encourage them to review us on Facebook or on Google, right on the website. That is wonderful for us. Basically, we have a 5-star rating, and we're very proud of that. So if a question comes up about the gluten-free cheesecake, for instance, we make the gluten-free cheesecake on a special baking day. We prepare the bake shop. We are making very certain that there's no cross-contamination. So we will prepare to do gluten-free by cleaning everything in the room, and we wipe down everything that had graham crackers or flour on it, remove those things from the room, and we do the baking. Nobody should be coming in the room with anything that has wheat or flour or anything, or graham cracker. When we're finished baking the product and it's been frozen and boxed, we go back to our regular routine. In order to make the gluten-free, we test it when we're done with the bake, and this is how we confirm that it's free of gluten when our test strip shows that we're good to go. We use the same basic recipe, but we use a different crumb on the outside of the pan, which is gluten-free, and that's the only difference. So when people want to know, is it taste good? It tastes wonderful. It tastes just like our other cheesecake, with the minute difference being the graham cracker versus the gluten style cracker crumbs that we use. And we use just a dusting on the outside of the pan, so it's not a big thick crust for the original, nor is it a thick crust for when we do the gluten-free. So it's nice to be able to offer something for people that have special needs, people that have celiacs or gluten insensitive, so that it's a nice feeling to know that those people can get a delicious dessert that will not make them sick. If you don't know much about why a person should go on a gluten-free diet, we have information in our SOP, but if you still have questions, it's probably a good idea to Google it and do a little research. But there are some people that eat gluten-free just because they choose to, but there are some people that are very, very sensitive, and they need to do it so that they stay well. So it's important to be able to answer some simple questions for those people when they come into the store, how we do it, why we do it, how we protect from cross-contamination. In addition, you might be asked, or a customer might say to you, this cheesecake is too big for my husband, and I just don't think it's a good idea for me to buy it. Well, my answer to that is, take it home, cut that cake in quarters, wrap up each quarter, put it back in the box, take out only a quarter at a time, maybe have a little snack each week, or whenever. But it's a nice way of having something delicious in the freezer that you can have when you have that craving, without feeling like, oh my gosh, I have to take this cheesecake home, thaw the whole thing out, and now we feel like we have to eat the whole thing, by within 5 days, when it's going to reach its 5 to 7 day shelf life in the refrigerator. Because people will ask, how long did it stay in the fridge? And 5 to 7 days. Every day it's going to get a little bit drier, so obviously, if you don't have to thaw out the whole cake, the best thing to do is thaw out a portion of the cake, and then as you need more, get more cheesecake out of the freezer, and it seems to work out very well. It doesn't take very long to thaw out. The recommended way of thawing out our cheesecake is to put it in your refrigerator overnight, and then the next day when you're ready for it, it'll be ready to go. But if you choose to thaw it, if you're in a pinch and you want to thaw it out quickly, you can put it on the counter for about an hour and it will be fine. Now I want to talk about when your demo is complete and what it is we do. Samples are done. It's time to pack up. What you want to do is you want to throw all your trash away. In the store they have garbage for you to throw things away. Leave that in the store and pack up your things. Your garbage can down below had a plastic bag for your garbage. You can take all the garbage and leave the bag with the garbage at the store. Then there's more bags in your kit for you to use, and you can put a new one in, and then you can use this just like it came with, to put your products to go home. So you can put your napkin holder back in here, your boxes, pack up everything. Hopefully you've used up all your spoons. If not, you can put the little cup back in the little bag, for next time. My goal is to make sure that we don't have too many spoons that are, being pulled out, put away, pulled out, put away. I like to just use them up as we go, so that we make sure that we haven't gotten any cream cheese, or any smuts on any of the ends of the spoons. So we want to make sure that if they're getting put away, they're clean. If not, they should be thrown away. Okay, so we want to break it all down. take our sign, roll it up, take everything, pack it back in the black bin or the garbage, the square white garbage can. You're gonna get rid of all garbage, you're gonna stack everything up, get rid of anything that's dirty or sticky, try to wipe it off and pack it back in the container. We want to try as best we can is to roll up the sign so it doesn't get wrinkled. And if possible, roll up or keep the tablecloth, wipe the tablecloth off so that when it gets put away, if it has any cream cheese on it, or cheesecake on it, it's not getting put away dirty because especially in the warmer months, things can have a tendency, they can get moldy if they're not used right away, or they can just get ants or whatever. We don't want to put anything away dirty. So wrap it up nicely, put it back in the container. As far as your leftovers, you most likely will have gone through your little pint containers. If not, you can take it home, or you can leave it with the bakery or whoever you're with. If you feel like it's a good idea to leave it with them, and they'll enjoy it, and there's enough staff.
Make a tray in the bakery.
Right, you can make a tray for them if you want to. I'd like for these little containers, these little half pint containers to get washed out so that you can return them to us and we can fill them up for the next use. They're a real sturdy little container and they will hold up nicely. So it would be great if you would be kind enough to do that for us. I never mentioned in the beginning, when you first open your container, you're going to want to take the lid off. The best way to handle it is take the lid off, get one of your little wax papers and do this because it's going to be sticky and you don't have a place to wash it right away. So take that lid, put it under here. Now it's in here together. I'm almost wondering if maybe we shouldn't do it that way on second thought, because this is going to take a lot of the cold when we really want the cold to go into here. So we might, depending on the weather. I mean, if it's warmer, you want to really, get the maximum out of your ice packs. If you're not having a problem, then it'll still be okay. But the main thing is we want to put something on them so that they're not making a sticky mess for you. So you want to basically after your demo, see if you can, hopefully you've used it all up. If you haven't used it all up, you're gonna either take it home and share it with your family, or if whenever possible, try to really, treat the people in the store. That's another thing I want to talk about, the people in the store. We have a challenge. Sometimes we have stores that absolutely love us and they work with us and they do everything they can to help us sell our cheesecake and make the demo a success. And sometimes it's not so easy. Sometimes the people are too busy. The people just don't have the time, or they're not paying enough attention. So it's up to us to really build on the relationship, to help to have it so that they want us to come back and demo. They want to sell our cheesecake, and they're proud to have Maddalena's in their store. So it's very important to talk with them when you're there, to be respectful of what they want from you and for you. They may want you in a different spot. They may feel that you're in the way. So we want to be as flexible as possible as where we set up our table. Hopefully they're going to let you set up your table very close to where the cheesecake is. And ideally, you'd be set up right in front of the case or right next to the case. Because what I like to do, if a customer walks up and I give them a sample of my strawberry cheesecake and they love it, what I want to do is I want to pick up a strawberry cheesecake and say, take a look, check the ingredients, put it in their hands. Once a customer has it in their hands, your job is halfway done. In most cases, they're going to look at it and they're going to put it in their cart. They're not going to put it back on the shelf. If they have an interest and you can hand them the box, that is very important. And that seems, I wasn't so sure about that until I started doing it. And I was very surprised to see how successful that could be. So obviously, you know, you don't wanna be forcing this on anybody, but when you have, you know, you kinda have to learn to read people when they're opened and they're interested and they wanna see more, you know, here, check it out. Look what it's all about. These are our ingredients. Another important thing. The box has a lot of different flavors on the bottom. It's other flavors that we do. And I've recently found that that can be very confusing for people because they're reading ingredients and they don't realize that what's here is just us other cheesecakes that we make. What's here on this label that comes down the front is what's in the box. We're changing that. The next time we have our boxes made, the bottom will not have these other flavors because we don't want to confuse people. Most importantly, we don't want to confuse the gluten-free people because the gluten-free people are reading that here it says that it's gluten-free ingredients and then they're reading that there's wheat. And they're trying to figure out, is there a mistake? Is it a typo? And again, this is just a list of other products, but having that on the gluten-free box has created a problem. So this is why it is very important for you to get back to us with what people tell you. Because when people make a comment like that, it makes us think, and sometimes we have to change the way we're doing things. It's really important for us to pay attention to what the customer is seeing because sometimes we don't see what they see. We you know, we've been doing it a certain way for forever. Maybe it's not the right way, but because nobody else has said anything, there hasn't been an issue, we don't change it. So sometimes when a customer, I had a call on this particular issue, and that prompted me to talk to my box company that makes our boxes, and it's being changed. So you have an after demo survey. It's very important that you take the time to fill it out because everything that happens when you're on the job is important, but there's no way for us to be aware or, you know, to even be able to grasp a fraction of what's being said at every individual demo. The best way for us to know what's happening out there is for our samplers, our cheesecake samplers, to report to us, to tell us that they loved it, to tell us that they like our packaging, or to tell us if there's a problem or if there's some issue that they had that, you know, that we're unaware of. But if you can take that time to take that survey that Nina has provided you with and get all of those questions answered, it's going to help us. It's going to help us do our job. It's going to help us sell more cheesecake. It's going to help us communicate better with the stores, and it's going to help us make a better product. So we're very excited that you want to work with us. We need more samplers. We need cheesecake samplers. We have so many stores, and we don't have enough of you to help us with all of those stores. So if you have a friend or someone in your family or someone that you meet while you're doing a demo, please tell them that we would love to have them join our team. And I thank you for your time, and I hope that we are all going to have a great season selling cheesecake. Thank you so much.